Hello again, children. This is a story called The Reindeer Who Forgot How to Fly. You've all heard of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but how many of you know about the other reindeers? Well, I have a herd of 9 reindeers. Alongside Rudolph there's Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner and Blitzen, and they all have a special part to play in pulling my sleigh. This story is about Donner and the day he forgot how to fly. Every day the reindeers practice taking off, flying and landing with the sleigh. To get them used to the weight, Mrs. Santa and the elves will join me in the sleigh from time to time. Oh, how the elves enjoy a trip round Lapland. As Christmas approaches, the training takes up more and more of the daytime. And so it was that a few years ago I called the reindeers ready for their daily training flight. "Come on, boys," I shouted, "and you girls too. We're practicing takeoffs today." Dasher and Comet raced out of the stable. They both loved takeoffs, speeding up into the crisp cold sky and flying along as fast as they could. The other reindeers followed and lined up in front of the sleigh, where I was waiting with their harnesses. Before long they were all in place and ready to go. Snow had begun to fall across the clear, bright sky. "Well," I said, "snow. Good for our practice flight. We'll be ready if it snows on Christmas Eve." "It usually does," said Mrs. Santa. "And don't forget these," she shouted, rushing out with my gloves. I put on the white gloves, picked up the reins, and made a clucking sound to signal the reindeers to start. As it was a clear, bright day, I hadn't harnessed Rudolph in the lead. I like to give Rudolph a rest from being at the front, as the lead reindeer has the hardest job on takeoff, getting the sleigh to rise up to fly. If it was foggy, I needed Rudolph to shine his bright red nose at the front, but as it was nice and clear, I had harnessed Rudolph further back. The lead reindeer for this flight was Donner. Now, Donner had only been the lead reindeer once before, and so he was extremely nervous to find himself at the front. Donner liked to sing, and he started to hum to get over his nerves. That didn't work, so he began quietly singing to himself as he ran. He picked up speed and sang louder, and then looked down. His hooves were still in the snow. He ran faster and sang even louder again, but his hooves were still in the snow. Behind Donner, the other reindeers were running too, and they also remained on the ground. It was up to Donner to take off. Then they would all rise up behind him. Donner felt himself blush with embarrassment, but what was he to do? Santa and all the other reindeers were counting on him. He heard a voice behind him. Cupid whispered, "Are you having a problem, Donner?" "I seem to have forgotten how to fly," said Donner. "Oh dear," said Cupid. "I thought as much." "What am I going to do?" asked Donner. "I felt so nervous about being the lead reindeer. I've tried singing to pluck up my courage to fly, but it hasn't worked." "Well," said Cupid, "why don't we sing together and I'll get the others to join in. That'll lift your spirits and lift the sleigh too." Cupid was an affectionate reindeer and liked to cheer the others up. So Donner and Cupid began to sing their favourite song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and straight away Rudolph joined in. Before any more steps had been taken, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Blitzen, and all joined in too. Donner looked ahead and suddenly saw he was beside the top of a fir tree. He looked down at his hooves and realised he was flying. He'd been so busy singing his nerves had vanished. "Woohoo!" cried all the reindeers. "Donner's remembered how to fly." Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. Tune in again soon for another story, and don't forget to ask your parents or carers to make a donation to Duckenfield and Stalybridge Rotary Club. Merry Christmas, children! Ho, 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 ho.